We are doing the second installment of Get to Know Your Supervisors. We are with Coahoma County District Supervisor Roosevelt Lee. Roosevelt is in his first term, almost 4 years on the board. Talk about what inspired you to be a supervisor, Supervisor Lee.
What inspired me is that through my movement through the county and being a native here for many years, even during the time of military engagement, and I came back and I've seen some issues between small communities not having adequate things done as far as roads and making sure that the housing were adequate for certain areas of the county. And I feel like if I came on board, that I would be able to implement those things or make those things better for all people to live within the Coahoma County, especially in the beat that I was looking at. They had a lot of the adversity and things that didn't really go well, in my opinion, as far as housing and roads. So I felt like if I could get in and be able to implement those things, that would make the county be a more accessible county to live in, as well as one that would move in the direction of people wanting to come and see what Coahoma County looks like. Even though it's an agriculture-based county, it still have room for improvement, and it's on the road for improvement for its bridges and what have you.
Yeah, and talk about along those lines what you've done to deal with some of those issues since you've been in office.
Okay, one of the things that I've done is I made myself visible to all constituents. I'm reminded of issues that I've walked up on as far as needed some right now kind of work, and I found out that the position that I hold sort of permits me not to do some of the things I thought I could do when I first got on. But overall, I've implemented some bridges. I ended up getting a bridge done that would take care of some water issues on the Johnson River. Just put in a $2.2 million bridge, and it is gorgeous, and I'm so thankful to the Lord that allowed me to be able to get that done on my tenure. And I had an issue on Johnson Road as far as there was some agricultural problems where water was banking on, causing a lot of flood and causing a lot of crops to be lost. So I took the initiative to get that done, and I just got an issue right there. I named the issue while I'm talking about it. Really touched my heart real bad. As a little boy, I have noticed this area. This is out here on the School Road. It's right below Dulaney Seed Company. There's a big wash where Sunflower River comes around, and it's been there ever since a little boy, and it raised my concern that we got to do something about it before it creates a major problem. And we have started doing some backfill in there, but we got a long ways to go. And those are some of the things that I had in view.
Right. Talk about, you're the new person. Everybody else is coming back. Supervisors Washington and Davis are in their second term. Supervisors Newsom and Pearson have been in there for for about 2 decades or more, give or take. But you're the new. So talk about, one, what you gained from the other four, from the experience that they brought, and two, what you as the new supervisor brought to the board that didn't have before.
What I gained from them was knowing my constituents and knowing what my limitations were as a supervisor. So oftentimes I thought from a business standpoint of a supervisor that he could come in and actually be on the move throughout the county, and some issues came up that he could actually just take care of those issues, whether it be with a piece of equipment or whether he do it manually. But I found out that a supervisor couldn't actually go out there because of the way the system had changed. It changed to a unit system where you can't do those type of things. And when I came on board, I learned that I had to learn the area that I was dealing with, learn the procedure, more or less get more educated on parliamentary procedures and getting things done. and I've learned that particular area of being a supervisor, and most of all, learning how to get along with all four supervisors to make sure that you can get the common goal that you got in mind to bring forward.
Yeah, and talk about we talked about some of your accomplishments, but talk about as far as the direction, how you being the new board member, the new supervisor, what you did to help that to help the direction move along. What did you bring that they didn't have before?
Okay, what I brought was some spirituality, I would say. I brought coming back to our first love, understanding that we have to give homage to him when we go ready to start a meeting. We have to make sure that he guides us in the right direction, because if we don't do that, then we're doomed for fail. I thought I brought an atmosphere that was a interacting atmosphere, an atmosphere that when you became in my presence, that you had a feeling of love and understanding how to get along with people and how to treat everybody on the same level and be able to reach those goals that I had in mind. For an example, I just gone to several meetings in Washington, D.C., trying to get our legislatures to look more or less at our low poverty communities and try to implement enough dollars, put some dollars on the ground instead of voices, put some boots on the ground to help us get those people up to par, because it hurts me to know that water is an issue when we're living in the years of 2000. We're not in the beginning of poverty. Everybody should have potable water. Everybody should have the good parts of life, and I feel like that I would bring that to the table with my expertise. After having 30 plus years in the military, I've been engaged in a lot of things with the military, and being not just confined to Mississippi. I've been in Germany and I've met a lot of people in Bragg and all over the continent, but I felt like with all of that within me, that I could share that atmosphere as I move up in the supervisor position and trying to get people to come together where we can make this county more profitable and more easy on the eye to see. And I'm going to add this, and I really on this term I'm looking at finding a way that we could clean our communities up, clean our areas up on our highways and our byways, because we're being filtered with a lot of trash, and I don't like trashy areas, and we got to figure out how to fix that, because we're letting that get really out of hand.
Right. What would you say would be some of the toughest issues, the biggest issues that you faced in this term? I mean, the hospital being an obvious one, so you could talk about that, but anything else that comes to mind?
Well, I mean, you mentioned the hospital. The hospital has been a major topic ever since I came on board. Even when I was running for office, there were some issues asked about the hospital. Don't let the hospital close. Well, since I've been in this area, I did a lot of intro into it, and I found out there's a lot of issues. Some I can be vocal about, and some I cannot. But one thing about it, about the hospital, I am dedicated to make sure that we have a hospital that is seductive to all of our constituents. We're not worried about a building, we're worried about service. We're worried about service to all the people in Coahoma County. And that's one of the things that we're focusing on, and we're gonna make sure it happens.
Let's talk about, working with other people, talking about and I know you've done a good job talking about your constituents, but you have a board where there might be a 3-2 vote. In some ways, it might be a 4-1. It might be 5-0. The importance of working with the other board members and respecting that if it doesn't go your way, that's the board's decision, and the importance of respecting that.
Well, you bring that up. Parliamentary procedure is one thing that separates us from whether friendship takes over and be the deciding vote. Parliamentary procedure separates that. It doesn't matter what the issue is. 3 votes is what's going to pass the bill. Now, Whether you let your feelings get into it, that's another thing. But my perspective is, as long as you make the 3 votes be on the right side of the equation, not on the left side, because you got to do it right, even though you have to implement parliamentary procedure. But see, when you make a decision, you make sure you go out and gather all the information before you sit down at the table to make that decision, because you want to make the right decision. You want to make a decision because of a friend or a buddy system. You want to make the right decision for whatever decision that is concerning that issue.
Let's talk about you've got, of course, the city and county, and a lot of places they don't necessarily work together where there are issues. But here, you seem to work well with the city of Clarksville, whether we're talking about governments, police departments, whatever it may be. What has been the secret to the county and city government working together well?
I think it's all about coming to the table and having a conversation. I think it's talking about, hey, we in all this together. Coahoma County, Clarksdale, well, this is one unit. This is one area that people live, and we are here for other people. So therefore, we have to learn how to come together and make it better. When you come together as a unit, you can get something done. But when you stay divided, you are doomed to fall. I don't care who it is. It won't hold. You got to be able to come together with a common goal in mind and reach forward and get it done. Be proactive about it.
Right. Tell people a little more who don't know about yourself. Get to know Roosevelt Lee. Tell some things about yourself as a person.
Well, most of everybody that know Roosevelt Lee, he gonna try to keep a smile on his face. He gonna meet everybody with a smile. I always tell people, be happy. There's no reason that you should walk around, I always say, with an ugly face. Why would you walk with an ugly face? You've been blessed to get up, you got all your members moving, and you're gonna meet your neighbor, and you say good morning to your neighbor, and he turns his head, or he gets ugly in the face. But Roosevelt Lee can't do that because he knows the value of being able to be on this earth and with that God gives thee, that it is very important that I meet you with a smile on my face. I cannot get the information I want from you with an ugly face. It won't work. I have to make sure that I let you know that I have some love in my heart for you, and it's up to you to get on board.
Let's look ahead a little bit. What are some of your goals going forward? We've talked a lot about what you've done and what some of the issues are, but what are your goals as we look ahead, finish this term, and hopefully for you, for next term? Just the rest. While you're still on the supervisors, what are your goals going forward? I guess.
Well, I live in a little community called Bobo. Well, my main goal is to beautify these areas. In other words, I'm looking at a ditch that I can do some beautification and not only make it look like a little community. I want the little small communities to look like a global county seat. In other words, when you walk in these areas and see that they're clean and well maintained, the ditches are clean and everybody's on board as far as cleanliness and making sure that things are being done, then we can implement things like getting dollars on the ground. We can go to Washington and say, hey, okay, we got problems here as far as people need housing corrected or to help them repair or help them reconstruct their home, not really build it from the ground. But if we don't come together and display what we got to get done in order to get this global look, then we won't get it done.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to say? Anything we've not talked about?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We were with District 5 Supervisor Roosevelt Lee and got to hear a little about some of his thoughts, get to know him a little better and his vision and accomplishments. Thank you for being here, Mr. Lee. Thank you for this. Thank you.